message to DeAndre? Like, he's playing in his first game. It's never easy, when you're acclimating to a new team. About like, hey, we don't need 30 from you. Just go out there and play. Or like, what do you say?
No, I don't know. It's more just a process of getting acclimated, and maybe I should say something, Serena, like something like that. But these guys have been in so many different situations, right? And they've been on 10 AAU teams in college, and you know, um, I think they acclimate pretty well. I mean, it really helps with Ty. When you're best friends in the building, that helps. Um, and then, to me, I don't want to rush anything. Just gradually get to know him. On the way here, I was thinking all the things we haven't taught him yet, and geez, what if that happens tonight? Or we want to play zone, or we want to do this? He really doesn't know. So we just focused on the basics, our basic principles. So it's going to take some time, but good thing he's not a guy that hasn't been playing for months. He'll just go out there and I'm sure it'll just kind of snap like that, and he'll be ready to roll.
Ty said something interesting this morning. He was just talking about certain areas you guys are looking to improve on as you ramp up for the playoffs. And he said, look, like when you're winning a lot of games, it's easy for there to be slippage in some areas because it's easy to kind of overlook those through the wins. Are there certain areas that you're looking at right now with these guys?
Yeah, and we've been kind of narrowing our focus right now, and to like playoff focus. So we got certain kind of KPIs that we want to hit in terms of our defense and our offense. I'm not going to tell you exactly what they are, but it's almost like, let's start let's start really narrowing in and focusing in on what's going to help us in the playoffs, and I do think that changes from our beginning of the season kind of message, not completely, but some of it's the same. So, and we're in this fortunate position to think that way. I don't think most teams. There's very few teams in the league that can kind of get ahead of this, and I really believe it's important to get ahead of it. We'll be more prepared for when the moment comes.
Chris, Kenny, going back to that, because you've brought up the playoff focus thing pretty much since the calendar flipped to February at this point. How different is your preparation and the things that you're instilling with the guys compared to what it was at the first half of the season?
I would say 70% of it is our same basic things we've been doing. Probably 30% where we've shifted our focus to different areas. Possession game being one of them. Like I don't. Day one, that wasn't like, man, we're gonna win the possession game. Now, as we start playing these more elite teams and start getting the playoffs, and where the playing field's a little more even, possessions become more and more important because your margin's smaller. So that's just one example of how we've shifted our kind of mindset and tracking it, and want the guys to be aware. Man, come on, man, let's win the turnover battle. Let's win the rebounding battle. And we've been okay in that area. The reason why we've overcome it is because we've shot the ball so darn good. We've shot the heck out of the ball, but that's not, like we've talked about it, it's not always going to be the case.
Mm-hmm. Where are you hoping to get the defense to by the end of the season?
And we're 8 now. I think the players talk about top 5. I know that was their message when we look at these. These guys want funny. They want feedback. They want where are we? What's our grade? And we're 8th. We're good, but we're not great. So DeAndre was part of that thought process, right? Can he help us? Can he, with his size, physicality, positional size, switchable, all the little cliches that are true. Can he help push us to the next level? ACC Defensive Player of the Year. I love the pedigree. I love his background, and we're going to challenge him to help us in that area.
Tom, nice to meet you. Kenny, anything to do with Isaac?
Man, I know he had a heck of a workout today. I saw him, but still no contact. I'd just say, it's I'll just be honest, it's post All-Star for him and Dean. Yeah, like, and I my opinion is, well, we could have pushed it maybe before for both of those guys, him and Dean, but I don't. Again, All-Star gives him another 5-6 days to work out, and get acclimated, and hopefully post All-Star we're off of early post All-Star we're off and running, and again the build up that goes with that.
I know there's a lot of variables that sometimes change what your rotations are. Do you sometimes get surprised by what groups kind of click together best? I mean, I know you have a plan for DeAndre, but you never know who he's going to kind of click with that.
It's one of the most fascinating things is sometimes you think a group would work and it doesn't. And on the other hand, it works both ways is what I'm saying. So we do keep an eye on that. The tough thing, it's like, we need the famous, sample size, so you got to look at 2-man lineups and 3-man lineups, and then do you really get 5-man lineups? What is it, 400 or 500 minutes? And sometimes you don't even reach that. So gets a little difficult. But I do look at it. I look at it early just to see if it matches up with what we're seeing as coaches. But with DeAndre, that's going to be a big one. Like how does he play with? Does he play better with Evan or J.A.? Is he better in the Donovan Evan group, or is he better with J.A. and Darius? Because those two play a lot. 3, 4. A little bit of both. It's that's part of the acclimation part of it, where we got to be really kind of on it.
Coach, your team has the best win percentage in the league in clutch games. The team was 20 the season ago. Outside of elite talent, of course, what has allowed this team to excel in those moments?
So if you talk to analytics people, they say it's random luck, right? They would like to, clutch minutes are. I'd like to think it's more than that. Obviously, Michael, like our shot making has been really good, and Darius is a big part of that. Not to give him the sole credit there, and that the C word, right? Confidence. We got a lot of guys playing with confidence, shooting the ball well. But I'm also happy our clutch defense is good too, right? We got both going. We're good in the clutch offensively, good defensively. And yeah, I'd say confidence and shot making are the two big ones there.
Tim.
Kenny, circling back to what you were just talking about with the combos, DeAndre, and looking at that, not that you have a specific game in mind, but target-wise, just his comfortability as far as being acclimated and just being comfortable with your system.
I wish I could give you like a number. I think it's different for different guys. I give the Max example. Like I think it's just now I'm really getting to know what plays he likes, how he fits with that first group. He started out in the second group. Now he's a starter. Like really starting to understand his game better. So I mean, how many games is that? How many is he plays in his 20s now? So hopefully DeAndre can be quicker because we got the playoffs coming up, but takes a while.
In your experience with a midseason trade, is that more challenging to bring a guy in?
I think so. Without a training camp, definitely. We just don't have the practice time that we haven't trained. If a guy's signed him in the off season, plus to get to know your time, all that stuff. So I definitely think it's more of a challenge.
Hey Kenny, is DeAndre starting or coming off the bench tonight?
Oh, we'll see.
We'll see. Is it tied directly to whether Max Strus is available, and do you have an update on him?
Both are up in the air. So just gonna wait and read it and talk to our coaches and look at the matchups, and we'll make a decision. But Max is. We gotta check him pregame.
When you say both are up in the air, I'm sorry, what do you mean?
No, one depends on the other, right?
Okay.
We'll see. Well, I gotta know, gotta know Max's status first. Well, once we know that, we can make a decision.
Gotcha.
That's what I meant.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mike.
We've talked about DeAndre's defensive ability. We know about his three-point shooting, but I was surprised kind of looking into some of the numbers. He's a really efficient post-up offensive player. I don't anticipate you guys throwing the ball to the block a ton, but when shots get tougher and tougher to come by, come playoffs or whatever, how does adding a wrinkle like that to your offense just kind of give you more tools in the tool bag?
I was just watching some of his Atlanta stuff, and they'd post him at the mid-post. They run that Paul Pierce cut for him, out of the corner when it's a big dude, right? Like he's 6'8", 6'8 and a half, 7'3" wingspan. We'd be foolish not to, not to exploit that. I agree with you, Mike. Like, you got to make tough shots in the playoffs. And we love threes, we love layups. We're analytically driven, but you do need guys to make mid-range shots. You need to take advantage of mismatches, right? They want to roll a small on them, a point guard. Can we throw it down to them? So, now I'm excited to get to know him better and how we can use him in that situation.
Pass once,
I don't know how much you can learn about a guy in 2 days, but personality-wise, like, what have you kind of picked up on with DeAndre? And has Ty told you anything about his personality?
I don't know. I would say my first impression, he seems very Ivy League-ish, like smart, buttoned up, well-spoken, picks up things quickly, and just really, kind of really easy to talk to. So that's first impressions right off the bat.
And then speaking to the acclimation process, you have 2 games and then you have a break. Is that kind of weird trying to integrate someone in and having that time off and then starting back up again after?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's a good point. But now I'm thinking we should bring him in the All-Star, have him run through our script, but we can't do that. That's illegal. Plus, he needs a break. But we'll be probably sending him film, and we'll try to you do things kind of a lot through video, but yeah, it's a little weird, right, with the break, and I will say we do get back, and we got two practices, so that'll help, instead of just coming back and have a shoot around and play. So we will get 2 good practices in, and we you have to pay extra attention to him, right? We did a film session this morning, and it was like, just our normal shoot around, and it kind of had to clarify some things, right? Like it's hey DeAndre, this is called down, this is our X out, this is whatever it is, just because the terminology is different. He said that to me. I said, man, a lot of the same stuff as Atlanta, but the terminology is different, so just take some time.